Ciao, my name is Umberto Mucci and this is We the ItaliaNews, a weekly podcast about Italy. Today is Thursday, November 10, 2022. According to the 2022 edition of the Italian Quality of Life Report, Trento in Trentino Alto Adige is the most livable city in Italy. It gets top marks in 8 out of 9 criteria. In second and third place are Bolzano, the other province in Trentino Alto Adige, and Bologna in Emilia-Romagna, both up one step from last year's edition. Florence in Tuscany climbs 2 places, taking 4th place, and Milan in Lombardy remains stable at 5th. Siena in Tuscany rises from 12th to 6th place. Parma in Emilia-Romagna, first last year, slips to 7th in the overall ranking. At the bottom of the ranking is instead Crotone in Calabria, then Syracuse and Caltanissetta in Sicily, and Naples in Campania. A clear gap emerges between the north and the south. There are no southern cities in the top 32 positions. Quality of life was found to be good or acceptable in 64 out of 107 Italian provinces, according to the survey, an improvement over last year. Finally, the study highlights how large urban areas have held up better to the pandemic, which has instead further sunk several southern and east island areas. The 9 criteria used for this measurement are business and labor, environment, social and personal distress, education and training, human capital, population, income and wealth, security, health system and leisure, broken down into 16 sub-dimensions and 82 different core indicators. Another research, a different research on the urban ecosystem published these days also yielded a very similar result. This second research is based on 18 parameters collected in 5 micro areas such as air, water, waste, mobility and environment. Again, the 2 provinces of Trentino Alto Adige are in the lead, but here Bolzano is first and Trento second. In third place is Belluno in Veneto, in fourth place Reggio Emilia and Emilia-Romagna, while surprisingly in this ranking in fifth place is a southern city. It is Cosenza in Calabria, which however is also the only southern city in the top 20. But there's another news regarding an Italian city, actually a small town. Residents of Limone sul Garda can reportedly eat whatever they want without having to think about gaining weight or developing health issues. Their digestive systems are top tier. They are said to have the Limone gene, containing a special protein that works to keep blood fluid and destroy lipids. Limone sul Garda is in Lombardy, has less than 1,000 residents, and is a quaint fishing village. It's also the most northern location in the world where lemons are grown naturally. The climate is extremely mild, even though it's located at the bottom of the Alps. The locals have been under scientific observation for 4 years. Out of the 1,000 residents are born and raised in Limone. Of those, half, 60, have the Limone gene. Scientists are constantly testing the locals as if they're lab rats. The locals have extremely low HDL cholesterol levels, which is most likely a genetic mutation within the protein carrier, and scientists are using this discovery to help fight against atherosclerosis, the thickening of the arteries. The gene mutation is unique specifically to Limone. Not even nearby villages have the gene. It is said that the climate and virgin olive oil are contributing factors to the Limone gene. Another historical discovery has brought Italy on the pages of the newspaper all over the world. Italian authorities on Tuesday announced the extraordinary discovery of 2,000-year-old bronze statues in an ancient Tuscan thermal spring and said the find will rewrite history about the transition from the Etruscan civilization to the Roman Empire. The discovery in the sacred baths of the San Casciano dei Bagni archaeological dig near Siena is one of the most important ever in the Mediterranean, and certainly the most important since the 1972 underwater discovery of the famed Riace bronze warriors in the Calabria region. Thanks to the mud that protected them, the 24 figurines and other bronze objects were found in a perfect state of conservation. Alongside the figures were 5,000 coins in gold, silver and bronze. As evidence of the importance of the find, the Italian Ministry of Culture announced the construction of a new museum in the area to house the antiquities. The discovery was significant because it sheds new light on the end of the Etruscan civilization and the expansion of the Roman Empire in today's central Italy between the 2nd and 1st centuries BC. The period was marked by wars and conflicts across what is today's Tuscany, Umbria and Lazio regions. And yet, the bronze statues show evidence that Etruscan and Roman families prayed together to deities in the sacred sanctuary of the thermal springs, while at war to each other outside the sanctuary. Fondazione Migrantes presented the 2022 edition of the report on Italians in the world. We will publish in the We the Italians magazine the abstract of this very interesting report. Here are just a few figures. There are 5.8 million Italians who have emigrated abroad, a number that exceeds that of foreign immigrants regularly residing in Italy, almost 5.2 million. Despite the difficulties of movement due to the pandemic, many are the young people living especially from the south. Portugal, Romania, Tunisia and Spain are the favorite destination of Italian retirees who decide to go abroad to live the last part of their life. Since 2006, the presence of Italians abroad has gradually grown from 3.1 million to more than 5.8 million. These are Italian citizens enrolled in the Registry of Italian Residents Abroad and representing 9.8% of the more than 58.9 million Italians residing in Italy. While Italy lost 0.5% of its resident population in 1 year, abroad grew by 2.7% in the past 12 months. Italians born abroad have increased by 167% since 2006. 50.3% of citizens now enrolled in the Registry of Italian Residents Abroad have been so for more than 15 years, and only 19.7% have been enrolled for less than 5 years. However, all Italian regions are losing residents by increasing their presence abroad. 48.2% of these Italians abroad are women, more than 2.7 million, 47%, left from the south, more than 2.1 million, 37.2% from northern Italy, and 15.7% are from central Italy. 54.9% of Italians abroad, nearly 3.2 million, are in Europe, 39.8%, more than 2.3 million in America, Central and South America especially. Italians are present in all countries of the world. The largest communities to date are in Argentina, Germany, Switzerland, Brazil and France. There are 841,000 Italian minors abroad, 14.5% of the total number of Italians registered abroad. A great many of these were born abroad, but many others left with their families in recent years. The foreign population in Italy is younger than the Italian population. Young people born in Italy to foreign parents, aka second generations, number over 1 million. Of these, 22.7%, over 228,000, have acquired Italian citizenship. If we add to them foreign-born, about 245,000, and naturalized kids, almost 62,000, the cohort of children with a migration background exceeds 1.3 million and accounts for 13% of the population residing in Italy under the age of 18. This episode of We the ItaliaNews also features some good news from Italy. Let's start with food. Parmigiano Reggiano PDO cheese won 121 medals, an unprecedented achievement at the World Cheese Awards 2022, the world's most important cheese competition. This year's national team of Parmigiano Reggiano PDO was composed of 96 dairies from all provinces in the production area. The group effort yielded the 6 Super Gold Awards, Best Cheese on the Table, 32 gold medals, 47 silver and 36 bronze. Let's move to sports. Ducati's Francesco Bagnaia won his maiden MotoGP World Championship at the season-ending Grand Prix on Sunday. Bagnaia gave Ducati their first title since 2007, ending 15 years of dominance by Japanese manufacturers. His title marked the greatest comeback in MotoGP history, as he was 91 points down midway through the season, and it ended a 50-year wait for an Italian rider to win the championship on an Italian bike after the great Giacomo Agostini. Last but not least, innovation. If you want to know what Michelangelo's David, icon of the Italian Renaissance, thinks, how he spends his days, and ask him curiosities about the period in which it was made, now you can do it thanks to Italian innovation. Interacting with the alter ego of the world's most famous statue is now possible thanks to Chat with David, the artificial intelligence project that the Accademia Gallery of Florence website perfected in its final version thanks to the volume of user interaction. The system, automatic software based on deep learning technology, continuously keeps the learning process active, allowing the chatbot to be increasingly capable of responding articulately, both in Italian and in English. And talking about Italian innovation, yesterday Atlas, the new exoskeleton for pediatric use, was presented at San Raffaele Hospital in Rome. Named after Atlas, the first cervical vertebra of the spine, which name is also mythologically inspired. Atlas was the Greek titan who held the entire sky on his shoulders. This is the only exoskeleton in the world that allows a child to move freely and whose uniqueness lies in the elastic technology that adapts to the wearer's body. Now, allow me to end this episode with a small auto celebration regarding We the Italians. On November 9, 2012, 10 years ago, a small site began its publications. At the beginning, there were news regarding Italy and the US, but in Italian language, not English. The first news was about Made in Italy growing in the US back in 2012. It was then, at that moment, that We the Italians officially started. As if we were a navigator who sets off in search of the East, only to find himself in the West. We found ourselves where we are today, which is a situation I never would have imagined then. There is still a long way to go, but on that site, WeTheItalians.com, there are in this moment 70,554 contents. And so, happy birthday to us. It's all for now, it's all for today. Thanks for watching or listening. I'll see you next Thursday. My name is Umberto Mucci. Ciao from Rome.